Welcome to the Experience Gap, the insight shop to the rescue, where we turn customer nightmares into teachable moments for businesses. Each week, we bring you real stories of service breakdowns, highlight the moments that matter, and equip businesses with strategies to delight their customers. I'm Kate Complin, the owner of the Insight Shop. I created this podcast to give customers a voice, to share their stories and frustrations, in hopes that companies would take notice, listen, and take action, as customers are your most important assets. Joining me today is Mike Sallander, a serial entrepreneur who has spent his career leveraging technology to drive business growth. After 15 years in the digital marketing agency industry, including a successful exit, he transitioned his focus to technology advisory. Mike is currently the COO at CXponent, where they provide specialized consulting, advisory, and brokerage services for mid-market and enterprise customer experience teams and contact centers facing complex technology transformations. Mike knows firsthand what great and terrible CX looks like. Mike, it's great to have you on my podcast.
Thanks, Kate. It's great to be here.
Many of you may be surprised by Mike's story, as he was just a teenager when this poor experience happened, and it still stays with him. Mike, tell me about your poor customer experience with Best Buy. What fell short? What happened? And how did that impact you?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely one of those experiences that has stayed with me. It's been 24 years since this moment, and I want to set the stage for a minute so people can understand how much this moment meant to me as a 14-year-old teenager, and that is I love video games. In 2001, Xbox was coming out with a brand new console. The console that Bill Gates said would be the last console you ever buy because it is so powerful and so great, that you never need a new one. And so this is something that my friends and I, as soon as it was announced, was dreaming of owning. So we follow the news. We're at that time, Buy is the retailer that is going to have the latest and greatest drops of technology. So we made a decision. Myself and about 4 to 6 of my friends decided to camp out at Best Buy to try and get our hands on the Xbox on day one. I,
So, Mike, what were your expectations going into this? What did you think was going to happen when you camped out in that long line?
we expected to be able to play the Xbox the next day, and so that's the piece that was really emotional for us. We went in knowing that it's a gamble, it's not a sure thing, but we were willing to put in the time and the effort. And we're talking overnight in mid-November in Chicago suburbs, where it
Sure.
is freezing outside.
Mhm.
It wasn't snowing, they were raining, but it was freezing. And this was not wake up early. This was a get there at PM the previous day and wait 12 hours till the store opens at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. The next morning. So this was a commitment. This was a sacrifice, but it was something we were willing to make. And so as we go through the story, this is not about the pain of standing in line to get a desired good, but there's so much more to it. We get there and there's already a fairly long line. I don't think there's any official Best Buy employees there at this point. The store's closed already. People are voluntarily lining up. This is not something Best Buy has encouraged by any means. And so we decided to wait in line, and you start chatting with people and start to understand a little bit more what the lay of the land is. There seemed to be someone at the front of the line who may have been a Best Buy employee or former Best Buy employee or somehow was in the know, and had an idea as to how many tickets they were going to be able to give out, like how many Xboxes they had available. And so we counted the people in the line. We're like, okay, this is worth waiting for because we've made the cut. It was barely made the cut, but we made the cut. Back in 2000, when Best Buy released the Xbox, it had two different versions. It had the day one version, which is your base Xbox, and had the bundle that had additional aspects to it that wasn't available right away, but was available. They guaranteed it before Christmas. So there's actually two types of tickets, but all we cared about was playing the next day, not
Right.
the, getting it before Christmas. Fast forward after a long, gruesome, cold night around 11 a.m. A spy employee comes out and starts to hand out the tickets. We're so excited. We're gonna get our Xbox today and go home and play after a night of not sleeping. And then they run out. We're like,
No.
oh, what do you mean you
How
run
did you
out?
feel at that time when they were
Devastated, furious. Best Buy didn't tell us specifically how many they had, and we got this information secondhand. But then I go back and find that guy who we spoke with before, and he
Mhm.
goes, "I'm so sorry. It turns out that we've given some of the Xboxes to the Chicago Bulls players. We have less than we expected." This Best Buy is next door to one of the training facilities
Mhm.
of the Chicago Bulls. And I'm a huge Bulls fan too, so on one hand, I'm upset. The other hand, I'm like, well, it's
Mhm.
the Bulls players are getting it. Frustration. It was about fairness. We waited in line. We knew the risks, and at the last minute, the variables changed, and we weren't able to get it. So that was kind of frustration, the perceived unfairness of how the original Xboxes were distributed. But now we've got the second Xbox ticket, and so now that we still have an opportunity to get Xbox for Christmas, which is still more exciting than not, because most of the world at this time is not able to get an Xbox before Christmas. This is a hot new item, a limited supply, as it's Microsoft's first time coming out with a gaming console. And so we get the opportunity to stand in another line. So this time, at least inside the store, so it's not
Okay.
freezing.
Is it same day or a different day you had to come back?
Same day. A long time ago, but I want to say if the store opened at 9 a.m., they handed out tickets at 7 a.m. And so we were at least able to like go inside, maybe grab breakfast or something for a little bit, and then come back when the store officially opened. So we had a little bit of a break and a little bit of opportunity to get warm. Some of my friends took that opportunity just to go home, but I was determined. I'm going into Best Buy and trying to get this Xbox. And instead of the normal checkout counters, they have this big wraparound line in their Magnolia room, which is their like home theater, like showcase. Like they're trying to encourage us to buy some of the higher end stuff as we wait. But now we're waiting in line for another 2 hours
Wow.
to get, and there's like maybe two people that are like facilitating this checkout. And it feels like a makeshift like checkout. It's not like even like an official like checkout
Mhm.
counter. So again, slightly frustrating, but I'm signing up for this. Like, I know that I'm doing something crazy here to try to get the Xbox day one. I'm waiting in line, and I strike up conversation with this woman in front of me who is a grandparent, and she ended up getting two different tickets. Like she didn't wait in line all night because that would be crazy at her age, but she must have paid someone to buy, or she came there early in the morning and offered a good amount of money to buy these tickets from people like me who had waited in line. One ticket that was available right away, and the other ticket that was available for Christmas. The Xbox was the same, the bundles were different, so she was going to buy these for her two grandchildren. And so I see an opportunity here because you don't want to give your two grandchildren a different type of Xbox. One's going to get the better one, the other one's get the worse one. The time of release doesn't matter to you because you're going to wrap it up and give them to them for Christmas. So how
Mhm.
about this? Like I've got the higher end bundle, which is what your kids are going to want, and it's going to be available for Christmas. Why don't we
Mhm.
trade tickets?
Yeah.
I'll get the worst one that's available today, and you'll
Yeah.
get your grandkids the exact same present, and there'll be no fights, no issue. She agreed. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is my moment. I've redeemed myself. I've been able to get up to the counter. I'm gonna go, I'm so sorry to tell you, but we didn't realize there's a difference in the color of tickets. And we've been giving everyone the day one Xboxes and we ran out. We can only take pre orders at this moment. And I am just furious.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, your disappointment level probably skyrocketed from from a 10 to 100 in that moment.
Express my disappointment in a good way. Anyways, what can I do at that point? So I pre-order it in 14. Yeah, I just started working. It's very likely that I had saved up all my money to buy this Xbox. And so to come up with the money, which for me at the time was a lot of money, probably all I had, to then have to like wait another few weeks is not only do I not have Xbox on day one, but now I've spent all my money to have to wait even. So anyways, that's part two. How they distribute the Xboxes, didn't love. this is where it comes in the territory of a poor Best Buy experience. I think that whole
Yeah.
setup in terms of how they made us go and stand in different lines and what didn't actually correctly facilitate it, tried to upsell us in the process, and then screwed up the actual handing out of the Xboxes. That's very frustrating. And then the cherry on top, if you will, is that when the Xboxes actually came in, like, and I'm gonna get it as soon as I possibly can. So I immediately went over to the store, and went in um and showed them my ticket, asked for the Xbox, and they told me, "Sorry, we haven't received the Xboxes yet."
Uh-huh.
Like, I know you
Uh-huh.
have the Xboxes. Like, I paid for it already.
Yeah.
I really want it, and there's a no sorry to come back. I was a very kind teenager, very probably showing some sternness, but not like yelling, not making a scene, like just being very professional. But it was getting nowhere with them. You asked to see the manager, that doesn't really go anywhere. You're 14, whatever, they kind of ignore you. I come back and I tell my dad, can you go in there? Because I know the Xboxes are there and they won't give me one. So I get him to go over to Best Buy. He walks in with the ticket and comes right out with the Xbox. I'm like, "Dad, how did you have?" He's like, "I just asked them. They said they had it in the back, and they gave it to me." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, they lied to me. Like, first they screw up, then they lie, and like,
Right.
why is it so hard to get this Xbox?"
So my question to you is, from the time you were 14 and that happened to the age you are now, how long did it take you before you actually shopped at Best Buy again? How many years would you say?
I want to preface this with like Best Buy was my store. Like for someone with my interests in technology and entertainment, like this was the store. So I went to Best Buy all the time. I loved Best Buy. I would probably worked at Best Buy. Like as soon as I turned 18, I would have opened up a Best Buy credit card. Like, I loved Best Buy. Okay, at first, and I'm not going to boycott Best Buy. I'm gonna write them a letter. I'm pretty certain that the way to contact customer service might have been through physical mail. I remember sending a physical letter to Best Buy headquarters with my story, and I wasn't asking for anything. I just wanted
Yeah.
them to know how much they let me down as a loyal customer, as someone that was a huge fan. And probably not surprisingly, that letter didn't get responded to, and ultimately fueled my boycott of
Mhm.
Best Buy. And so I don't know how many years. I would say probably at least 6 or 8 year all
Okay.
throughout high school,
Okay.
all throughout college. I really avoided going there, which at the time is really
Mhm.
hard. It's not like you have Amazon selling everything at
Right.
that point. Best Buy was on the brink or had already put a lot of the other competitors out of business, right? So I
Mhm.
didn't have other options to buy some of these things, or let me say, they weren't convenient options. But Best Buy was by far the most prevalent and convenient, and probably the cheapest price. I think at some point in my 20s, out of convenience, I finally did stop at a Best Buy and buy something. And I will admit, the last computer I bought, which is this year, I did buy at Best Buy. So my boycott has faded, but it definitely took a lot of time and a decent amount of business that I took elsewhere over those 2.5 decades.
Thank you so much, Mike, for telling your story. I'll leave you with this. So, First Stir's 2024 U.S. Customer Experience Index finds that CX quality is at an all-time low and estimates that only 3% of companies meet their bar for being customer obsessed. Scores may look okay, but true CX excellence is rare. Today's Best Buy or Target customer is rarely just an in-store shopper or an online shopper. And one omnichannel study found that 80% of consumers use multiple channels to complete a purchase. Omnichannel customers spend about 30% more and have a 30% higher lifetime value than single channel shoppers. Retailers get the message. One compilation of 2024 retail personalization stats found that over 80% of businesses expect to compete primarily on customer experience, not just price or product. And Mike, what you shared was all about the experience you had. Not only did you wait for a very long time to get a ticket, but then you get the wrong ticket. They're out of product. So your entire story had nothing to do about the product. It was all about the experience. 62% of customers said they'd switch loyalty away from brands that don't offer personalization. Omnichannel shouldn't feel chaotic. If your store, site, and app experiences don't feel like one brand to your customers, it's time to call the Insight Shop. Visit us at theinsightshopllc.com and let's build the kind of experiences your customers stay for. Thank you, Mike, for sharing your story about your poor experience with Best Buy.
Thanks, Kate. It was a pleasure doing so. And I did get a little emotional reliving that experience. I will be honest.
I bet you did. That was quite the story, and to hold on to it for so many years, it just goes to show how important experiences are. But thanks to our listeners for tuning into the Experience Gap, the Insight Shop to the rescue, helping businesses turn frustration into delight, one experience at a time.